over to you, Ramesh.
Thank you, Vivek. Good morning to one and all. Happy Saturday, and I hope you all are fine and doing good. So, Vivek, I believe my screen is visible, right? And to all the participants as well.
Yes.
What we are going to do in this session is take a simple data set, identify the sentiment from the data set using a DistilBERT model, which is from the Hugging Face organization. And post that, we will be focusing on how to deploy our model, which we built using sentiment analysis, into CellStrat Hub platform as an API. Okay, so I will just get into the slide briefly, and then we can go back to the CellStrat Hub platform and then start performing the activities. Meanwhile, I would request you to actually download the file and let me know if anybody has access issues in the Google Drive link that I have shared. I have shared a Google Drive link where I have placed all the files which are necessary for this session. So I would request you to first access that, take in the files, and let me know if anybody has issues in accessing or downloading the file.
So could you please send again? I just joined now, so I can't see
Okay,
anything in this one.
sure. Okay. Yeah, I just posted it.
Yeah,
That's my
thank you so
Google
much.
Drive link. And I would also appreciate if you can actually log into CellStrat Hub, start your workspace, and then launch Jupyter Lab. Are you all aware of this navigation, or I need to show it? In case you don't have, I'm just pinging you the link. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Vivek sir has pinged. I request you to, once you log in, you can start your workspace, wait for a minute or two. Post that, you should see the launch Jupyter Lab icon. Please click it so that it will take you to the Jupyter Lab notebook where we can use the files that you have downloaded. So since it's going to be a hands-on workshop, you can run the items parallelly with me and see whether you are getting a right output. And you can as well parallelly deploy along with me, and then we will see how the deployment goes through. Okay, I hope you all are downloading. So basically what we are going to do, right, meanwhile when you are downloading, right, I just want to tell you briefly what we are going to do. We are going to do actually sentiment analysis, right? Every one of us, when we convey something, right, there is always a hidden sentiment. Whether you write it or whether you speak, right, there is always been a sentiment that is hidden, based on which probably to the person to whom you speak will react, right? It could be either uh, a positive sentiment, a negative sentiment, a neutral sentiment, or you could be extremely happy, or you could be extremely sad. You could convey different kind of emotions or sentiments via in the text or your speech, right? Those medium of communication. And NLP, right, natural language processing, gives us the ability to actually take a piece of text and then identify what is the sentiment conveyed in the given text. Okay, it is also called opinion mining, right? In order to understand the opinions of the given statement, how do we do it via natural language processing? That is what we are going to do. The model that we are employing today to perform that is DistilBERT. How many of you have heard of DistilBERT, or how many of you have used BERT? Has everybody used BERT? in your projects, or has heard of BERT, Transformer, DistilBERT, any of these terms? Does it make sense to you?
Yeah, I think one or two people raised their hand.
Okay. Okay, so okay. Okay, so just to give you a brief idea, our NLP has evolved a long way, right? Earlier on, we used to do with word text counterizer, right? Word vectorizer. Then we moved on to word to vec for generating the embeddings, and then the moment of truth came when transformers concept came, right, which helped us to get a right embedding for a given text. So embedding is nothing but the way how you can, just from a layman's term, how you can represent the given words, or what we call in NLP the term tokens, right? That is, those are called as embeddings. So basically you need to represent the given statement in terms of certain numbers, right, or vectors. If you are able to make a right representation of a given text, then you would be able to get a right you will be able to make a right sense out of it, right? So all these transformers, word vectorizers, everything helps us to get the right sense of a given statement. That is how you can understand if you're a beginner. And I said today we are going to use a DistilBERT model, right? So DistilBERT model is a simplified version of a BERT model. BERT model was developed by Google, and DistilBERT model is a sort of a BERT, but it's a simplified version of a BERT model. So you can see the in slide how I have represented, right? If BERT is a teacher with a lot of knowledge or with a lot of transformer layers, a DistilBERT is a tiny one, or probably a student. It's an analogy, right? So more or less in terms of performance, everything you would try to match BERT, but it may not really meet the BERT. But why we are going for DistilBERT? It's a simplified model, right? It's easy for us to train, perform inference, and and do any NLP activities on that. So more or less you can perform all the activities, but you may not get as accurate results as BERT, because BERT is since trained on a huge data set, and TinyBERT or DistilBERT is actually trained on a little lesser data set with the lesser parameters. If you want to learn more about DistilBERT, you can go to this link, the Hugging Face link, where you can read about DistilBERT, what are the things, and you can understand how DistilBERT actually works. Okay, so before we get into the model, anybody has any access issues in Drive, or everybody is able to access it, or everybody is able to load, get into the CellStrat Hub?
Yes, sir, but after logging in, should we upload the file to Jupyter Lab?
Yes. You can upload the files. Primarily for now, we can take two files. One is, are you all able to find this file? Are you able to locate this file, the transformer sentiment analysis.python notebook and the model deployment.python notebook? So these two files you can take. The other model files can actually be generated from these files.
Okay.
Okay, so step one, I would request you to first upload this transformer sentiment analysis.ipython notebook, and you can keep it open. And the next step would be to open the model deployment file. So to keep it open, the transformer sentiment analysis file is the file where we are actually feeding in the data set, performing the feeding in the data set, performing the data analysis, and training our model. Model deployment is the file which we use to actually initiate our deployment. So this is part one. Once we are done with this, we can go to part two. Okay, I'll just wait for a minute before we get into this.
So I hope everybody was able to start CellStrat Hub or create a login if you are here for the first time and able to go to the Jupyter Lab.
Yeah.
You will be assigned the free tier, which has 8 GB of storage. And you can even check out the NLP pack for purposes of today's workshop before you start the workspace. If you started the workspace, you'll have to stop the workspace and then only the NLP checkout will work. Below you'll see add more packs. You can check out the NLP pack because one of them is today's project, I believe.
Yeah, but otherwise the file is also in the Google Drive, so you can use that. So
Yeah, in the Google Drive, all code is provided by Ramesh.
yes, you can directly use that.
So maybe you can show how to upload the zip file here and unzip it, right?
Yeah. So you basically need only 2 files. Okay. Okay, so what I'm doing is actually I'm extracting the files in my desktop, and then I'm just uploading the I'll just show you how to upload the file which is required. Say for instance, you can actually, if you go inside, you will find a lot of different files, right? These 2 files are the ones which you can actually upload. So for me, it is
2
already
files need to be uploaded, not the entire zip package.
yes,
Huh?
yes.
Okay.
So I can show you here. So you see, I was able to get these 2 files, and you can open it actually. So get it. So is everybody able to get in and upload the files? Are there any challenges? So I take silence as
Sir, excuse me. For
yeah.
works, for when I loaded the workspace, it is saying pending.
Okay. So I think it will take 2 minutes to get into your workspace. Okay, I think for
Yeah, 2 minutes it will remain pending. So it starts AWS EC2 instance. So that's why it takes 2 minutes. So it will become started on its own. Then you can launch Jupyter Lab.
Yeah. Now it is running.
okay. Yeah. Then you can launch the Jupyter Lab.
Okay.
Okay. And people who are has already logged in, if you're able to see the code, you can start running the first cell where we are just only installing the transformers. So via transformers, we are going to actually import a lot of packages required for this program to run. So basically, you'll be importing the PyTorch, the torch. You'll be using transformers, and then you'll be using scikit-learn, then NumPy and pandas. So whoever has whoever has reached this stage can run this and see whether you are able to get this installed. Okay, so shall I move on to the next step if it's fine?
Those who just joined, I'm sending the the link again to download code and upload in CellStrat Hub.
Excuse me, I must say open from path, is it?
You have to click on this button to upload. Are you talking about uploading the files?
Okay, that button. Okay, I'll
Yes,
do.
yes. Once you click on it, it will show you the path, right? Here you can select the files.
Okay.
So you should have unzipped it on your computer before,
Yeah.
because what you downloaded from Google Drive of Ramesh was a zip file. You have to unzip it on computer, then you can upload those two files.
Okay, any questions, please post it in the chat window. Okay. Okay, I'm going to the next step in the interest of time. So next step as well is we are just importing the libraries which are required for our program to run, our model to use. So you can see NumPy, Pandas, scikit-learn, Torch, transformers, and then I'm just filtering out the warnings. So you can run it and see. Okay, parallelly I will also run it. Okay, so I'm importing all the packages. So it just takes a minute or two to get the packages imported. Once you are done, you can actually move on to the next. Mine is still running, but you can move on to the next cell to read the data. Our data is nothing but movie reviews in a tab separated format. Okay, so just I want to show you how the data looks.
There's a message, no module name torch. If you run cell by cell from first cell, you should not get the error.
No module named torch. Yeah, so
You have to make sure that you have selected the PyTorch kernel in the top right. Maybe Ramesh, you can show how to select the kernel.
yes, yeah. Sorry, I would have missed that. Okay, here you can go select that. If you see the drop down, you will see a lot of kernels, right? So you can select. You can see Python 3, Torch, and TensorFlow. Select the PyTorch kernel, and then click on select. So we give you an option to select actually any of these kernels for your usage. Since we are doing a PyTorch model, we prefer to select PyTorch kernel, and then click on select. So now you should be able to see this PyTorch. That means that you have selected a PyTorch kernel. Okay, so okay. Okay, so I wanted to show you what is the data. So you can actually go ahead and then read the file. Oh, sorry. Okay, so you can see the file, how this is the source data file, how it looks. We have primarily using only two sentiments for now. One is 0 marked as 0 and 1. 0 is a negative sentiment, 1 is a positive sentiment, right? So there is a tab separated here. Right, it's a .tsv file. I'm reading it from a GitHub link. So you can read it. This command all talks about reading that file and then using it as a data frame. Okay, I hope Soumya, your error is resolved now. So once you have read the data frame, in this step, I'm just taking a sample of that to present it here. Okay. Yeah, where am I? Here I am. So I'm just showing you only a sample of data here. We are for presentation. So we are actually, what we are doing here is I'm just um, taking only the first 500 rows and then storing it in another data frame. This is just to limit our training time. So basically, I'm not taking a complete package. If I see, okay, so actually, if you see, there are 6,920 rows of data with the two call. Sorry, Vivek, you were telling me something.
So Ramesh, some new folks have joined. Maybe you can send the two links again on chat.
Okay.
So those who have joined just now, Ramesh is sending the code download link and the portal link where to log in.
Okay. And please select the right kernel. Okay. Okay. So what I was saying you is, though we have like 6920 data set, right? We are selecting, we want to use only the 500 rows here for our training, just for the interest of time. Okay, that's what you see here. Once you are done till here, next step is nothing but importing the models which are required, the tokenizer, BERT model, and the config file model. So we will be using only the tokenizer and BERT model. I have taken config as well. One is, so what is the significance of these? One is tokenizer is used to tokenize, right? So the given statements has to be tokenized into different, given sentences will be tokenized into different tokens. In the sense, it will be split into multiple words. I'll just get back to the slide here. So uh, this is what we are doing here, right? Primarily what we are doing today is we are taking in a data set which is composed of movie reviews with sentiments 0 and 1. 0 stands for negative and 1 positive, right? What we will be doing in terms of data processing is we first use tokenizer to tokenize them. Then we will also be adding some special tokens which are required for us to process. Then we will be moving to adding the attention mask. The basic concept of transformer is attention, right? Attention is the one which helps us to produce a right embedding. So we use that. Once we are done with all the processing of the data, we pass it into the DistilBERT model. Okay. And this model is already pre-trained. As I said, DistilBERT is already a pre-trained model. So we are just going to use the pre-trained model to produce embedding. That is what we are going to do. We are not going to train the model further. We are going to use the model as it is, and then we will be using it for producing the embeddings of the sentences. Okay, so that's the base concept. This diagram tells you that once we pass on a statement, it first passes via DistilBERT. The model produces the embeddings, and then we use a classifier. A simple classifier we have taken is a logistic regression, and the logic regression classifier gets trained, and the output of the classifier will say either it's a positive or negative. Okay, so that's in a nutshell. But getting back to our hands-on, so we were in this step. I hope you all reached till this step. Okay, anybody else issues? No, okay. So I am using a DistilBERT model. So I'm using a DistilBERT based uncased pre-trained weights. There are like cased, uncased, different options available. We picked up uncased pre-trained weights. And in this particular, you can run it. Okay, I will also run it. Sorry. Right. Okay, so and then I am sending the model. So I'm taking in the tokenizer here. So it just downloads the tokenizer. And in this particular step, it just downloads the model weights. Okay, so don't have to worry about this. logging messages here. Okay, so what you are going to see further in next few steps are still data processing. So till here we are actually doing data pre-processing. Okay, so let's continue on. Here we are adding the special tokens. Special tokens are required by the BERT to identify a separator and to signify the start of the sentence and end of the sentence. So we are adding a special tokens here. Let me run it. Okay, so what's the issue here? Batch of 0. Maybe I have not run it. Okay. So if you run it sequentially, you should not be facing issues. Yeah, I just skipped one step. I faced an issue. So if you want, you can just print and see what the tokenist output looks like. Yeah, see how it looks. You see that the tokens at the beginning is always 101, right, to indicate the beginning of a new sequence. So we have like 500 sequences here. It starts with index 0. That's what you see here. Zero. Okay, so I just printed a first sequence. It so starts with 101 and then ends with 102. You can try printing second sequence as well to see. Everything starts with 101, ends with 102, right? So you should always be seeing this. Okay, so once we are done, right, once we have reached till the step, your next step is to actually pad the sequences, right? So we want all the sequences to be uniform length. Right now, each of the sequences have different length, right? So we always try to keep it a uniform length. So what we am doing here is writing a program in such a way that it will find the maximum length of any given sequence, and for rest of the sequences, the same length of zeros will be appended. So let me show you here. Okay, so try to just displaying the pattern here, right? At the end of this particular sequence, you can see the zeros which is getting appended. So it does, the only significance of this is to say that everything after that is just a padded value. So this makes the sequence length uniform. You can see that the shape of this array is nothing but 500 sequences, and each of them have 54 tokens now. Okay, you may not be able to find these things I just showed you here, but if you want, you can take it and print it and see. Okay. As I said, what we have done is we have reached till here, right? We took the data set of negative and positive of sequences with negative and positive review sentiments, and we processed using DistilBERT tokenizer. We tokenized it. We added special tokens. Our next step is to identify the attention mask. Once we are done with the padding, attention is a concept which is basic to the transformer to give specific attention to the given sequence. So in order for us to use the right attention mask, right, we need to tell explicitly where the padding is done and where the padding is not done. So here, if you run this, you will see again 500 cross 54. It's nothing but I have displayed it here. So you can see, right, wherever we have the sequence, original sequence, it will be marked 1. Wherever we don't have the sequence, it will be marked 0. So This column states that wherever if it is not 0, I assign it 1. If it is 0, just leave it as it is 0. So because 0 is just a padded value, not the real sequence. Okay, so what we will be doing is we will be using the attention mask later on as an input to our model. Okay, I hope you all reached till this stage. And as a basis of since we are in PyTorch, I'm just converting everything. You see here, everything is array, right? So I'm converting into a torch tensor format here, sorry, using a torch.tensor. So this is the complete padded sequence, which is converted now into a tensor format. And since in PyTorch, everything we are dealing with tensors, even the attention mask also will be converted into a tensor format. With this, our data processing would be complete. Got resolved, okay. So I hope you all have no issues reaching till the stage. Okay, so we'll move on. So we have reached till here, right? We completed data set, we completed data processing. We are close to, we have completed 50% actually of our data modeling. And the next step is data processing, right? So this is nothing but model processing. Just a minute. Okay, so let's move on. So we are going to do a processing of the given data set. The input data set will be processed via the DistilBERT model, right? And what we get will be the embedded outputs. Then we will feed into the logistic regression. Let me show you how it is.
So meanwhile, anybody has any questions? So those who are new to MLDL, this concept of transfer learning is there, right? So we are using what we call as a pre-trained model. So we are not having to custom train a model. We are using a DistilBERT pre-trained model, which is already having expertise in extracting features from textual data sets, right? And then using that pre-trained model to extract features and then apply a logistic regression classifier for purposes of detecting positive or negative sentiment.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So it is as good as saying that we are using a knowledgeable person already, and using the expertise of that person, we are actually getting the um, right output for our given statements. Else we need to actually train, get the right embeddings, right? Rather than doing all that, that model is already, the person, knowledgeable person is already available. So we are using that model or the person to get the needed output. So that's what we are doing here. Okay, so what if you see the output of this, right? The output of this will be in a 3-dimensional format. So just say, as I said, what we will be getting is for each of the sequences, we know there are 54 tokens, right? And then we will have a 768 dimension for the token. But what we need is a representation of our sequence, right? Because we are going to actually feed in the sequence for identifying the sentiments, right? So the sentiment is identified based on the given statement, right? Not based on a given token. So a sequence is made of a lot of tokens, and a complete sequence is taken to identify the sentiment, not a given word as such, right? Okay, so what we are doing here is to identify the features of the given sequence. So that is what I have extracted here, right? A sequence representation will be present in this particular index. So once you extracted the feature, next step, this one, what I'm using is for training. So in case if it's confusing to you, you can say that this is the, if you remember, batch is nothing but the input data we fed. Batch 0 has got all your review, and batch 1 has got the sentiments, right? So we are just extracting the sentiments. And after this, your classic ML starts, which is nothing but splitting the data set into training features, testing features, training label, testing label. We use this scikit-learn train test label library for that. And if you want, you can actually print it and see what has features here. Okay, so if we have reached till here, we are almost 75% done. What we are left with is only the training the logistic regression model, which is which will be like a simple model that we would have all done it at the beginning of a machine learning project, right? So you take in a logistic regression, pass on the training features. Okay, and once we have fitted the logistic regression, you can actually so what I'm doing here is trying to get the accuracy. I run the trained model on my test data set. It gives me an accuracy of around 72. Earlier got an accuracy of 77%. So it's just, if you remember, it's just trained only on 500 data set, right? In fact, our original data set has got around 6920 sequences. So with the 500 data sets, we get only an accuracy of 72%. And next segment, next line is just to predict the sentiments of a given test. So that's what I have printed it here. So 1010, what you see here is an output of given output of the prediction from the logistic regression model using the test features. So remember, we split our data set into training and testing, right? So we use the test feature and making a prediction. We have already seen what is accuracy here. So this is nothing but an output. And what you see here is just I printed a confusion matrix to see how it looks. Right. I hope you all aware of confusion matrix. If not, it just tells you what is the true positive, what is the false positive, what is the true negative, what is the false negative, right? So that's a basic metric which we use to check whether our model is performing really good, and you would actually arrive at a precision recall metrics from the confusion metrics as well. Okay, so you have a question, should we download the model or it will be part of, yeah, so download the model. So once you do this, right, once you import this, all will get downloaded automatically. So that's that's to Bharat Watch. It is all part of a transformer, so it will download the model. Okay. So let me know if you all have reached till here, because till here means we have completed till the model prediction. We will be just the further steps. We will just only be saving the model to use it for our inference. So I hope we all have reached till this stage, right? Anybody is still left? Because after this, we will be focusing mainly on how to deploy to CellStrat Hub. Okay, so good, all have done.
Well, the code can technically run in Colab or other systems, but the better you run in CellStrat Hub, because you have to deploy it here. There is no other deployment mechanism in those other systems.
Yeah, and you would see that the deployment is as breezy as it can be, because the real deployment will take a lot of concepts in AWS to deploy. But the way deployment has been packaged, it will be very easy for you all to do it. Okay, so what we are going to do further is to save the model, so you can run this. And see that your model will get saved. So what it does is it just saves your all model weights, and here we are saving all our tokenizer related items. So you would see should see a model file. Sorry. Okay, so are you able to see a model file? Once you start saving, you should see a model folder, and inside that you would actually be seeing certain files. In fact, I am saving the model weights, the tokenizers, as well the logistic regression trained model as well. So we have two things, right? One is that we need to have this DistilBERT embedded model weights. The other one is the logistic regression with model as well, which we trained. So I am saving both. So these statements are related to saving the model weights for logistic regression. Saving it is in a binary format. So at the end, your model folder should have all these files. So I have supplied the same files in my zip folder as well, but then you don't really need it because we can generate it. So let me know.
What are these JSON files here, Ramesh? What are JSON files?
These are the configuration files, Vivek. So once you open it, right, you can see that how the tokenizers have been identified, like what is the significance of that.
Okay. So LRCLF is the main predict function which will be deployed as API, right?
No, actually speaking, all these will be deployed as a part of our package, but the main model weights are stored here, PyTorch model.bin.
Okay.
It's for DistilBERT, and our logistic regression will be stored here. This is a binary file, so it will not.
So there are two models, LRCRF and PyTorch model.
Correct. And these are accompanying files for the same.
Okay.
So here you see that model parameters are saved, right? What is the dropout, model type, and all those things will be saved. So all this will be generated once we save the model. Okay, so with this step, we would be done. We are done with this particular notebook. Are we done? Shall we move on?
Was
Okay,
everybody able to run this core training notebook
and
before we
generate
go
this
to
model
deployment?
folder. Yeah, and generate the model folder. So that should be the endpoint for you. Okay, I don't know. Is there any thumbs up icon, Vivek? I can.
Yeah, there is a thumbs up, or people can write done in chat.
Okay.
So you can raise your hand if you're done.
Yeah, I just raised. Wait. Okay. I don't want the queue. Okay, so 3 people have raised. I assume everybody. Okay, 3 people would have typed in done. So, okay. So I am hoping we can move on to the next notebook, right? Okay, so what I would want you to do, right, before that, go to your CellStrat Hub. Uh, so model.save underscore pre-trained saves only the model weights. Tokenizer.save underscore trained actually saves you all the tokenizer related concepts. So if you go here, you can see there are some certain tokens, or you can see this particular line, right? These files will get generated, which will have tokenizer related details. So we need both for our inference. Okay, so everything here in tokenizer related pertains to the tokenizer details.
Anybody has any questions? Yeah, there is a question on chat.
Yes, that's what I just explained, Vivek.
Okay.
So if you see this is what your model dot save underscore pre-trained model will say generate you these two files, which is the model weights as well as the model related parameters, whereas the other files will get generated during the tokenizer save. Okay, sorry. Okay, I would want you to go back to the CellStrat Hub and get into deploy models actually. So you can click on this deploy models. Once you click here, you should be able to see dashboard. Just give me a minute. Sorry. Hello. Sorry, are you able to get to this page? You can start generating the API key. So the concept here is, see, I have my API key already. The concept here is every user will have a unique API key. Only those users who have the authenticated API keys will be allowed to access the model. Right. So whenever we are passing in a get request or post request for this model, we need to always pass the API keys, right? If we don't pass the right API keys, or if you don't have API keys, you won't be able to actually access this model. So that's the idea. API key helps you to bring in security one. The other one is to understand how many calls that we are actually making. So we will be able to even keep track of it. So we need a unique identifier in the form of API key to access the model. I hope this concept is clear for you. You can create the API key, and then you can check in your key. Once you click on this, right, you will see alphabets. I mean, the sequence of alphabets that will be your API key. You can keep it handy. You need this when you access the model. Okay, so right now you see under me there is I already deployed. That's why you see here. But then for you, this all will be blank in case you have not deployed any model. Okay, are we all done with the API key creation? I hope we are able to get till here, right? So a quick and easy note can be found in this link itself. Learn how to deploy, right? In case if you have any doubts, you can go back and refer how to, I mean, what is REST API and all those things you can read. Currently, there are two methods only supported, get and post method. And you can see a sequence of steps how to actually do the deployment, right? But we'll do it hands-on, but later on when you get time, you can actually go through it. Okay, so let's go back. Okay, so now I would, okay, if no more questions, we need to get back to this model deployment.python notebook file. Right. So this is nothing but I am writing an inference function and I put it in the Python notebook file. That's all. And this particular portion of the file deals with only testing the code. So you can start running. We have to run it till here, right? Till this particular line, because once after deployment, we can run and test our code using this. So testing your API can be done either via this or via Postman. Either if you have hands-on on Postman as well, you can do test it via Postman. Here we have tested via Python script. Okay, so what we will be doing is this is an inference script. So we are importing the transformers. We are again importing all those things, and here we are actually importing the model, right? We are loading our logistic regression file, and then what we are pausing is we are tokenizing the input. Okay, so this is just a sample that I have tested here. Here you have to run your code in the inference mode, so you can keep running actually as we speak. Sorry, I will also keep running. Okay, so this model pertains to whatever model folder that we have created, right? So okay, so this logistic regression, this is just for our testing purpose, and then here I'm running it in an inference mode. Okay, so I'm extracting the features, right? And then I pass it on to our logistic regression predict function. Since I gave two inputs here, right? I am getting two outputs. If you see, the first sequence is I love this movie very much, for which we have got an output of 1. 1 is nothing but positive sentiment. I hate this movie is a negative sentiment. So you're getting an output of 0. And here I just used a map and lambda function to map it to positive or negative. So you can run this as well. Okay, so from this, we are converting into this format using a map and lambda functions. Okay, so let me know. I hope you are all done till here, right? This just only tells that our model locally is working fine. We are able to make prediction. Now we have to actually see how to do the deployment. For to do the deployment, actually, we need to get back to a terminal. We need to open a terminal. Okay, so you
Yeah,
should
I
be.
think some people could be running with your API key and your username. That's not the goal, right? So in the
Yeah, and
code,
please don't run it. Yeah, that's why I'm saying. So don't run this. So you should be only running till here, right? You should not be going in here.
don't go
Actually,
to test API and forward.
yes,
That is
yes,
Ramesh's
because
API key.
correct. In fact, you would not be able to access the model. So you need to feed in your API key. I will tell you how to do it. But after this step, we need to start our deployment. So far our model is ready. We need to start our deployment to Hub API.
But Ramesh, I was able to run it with your key and it gave me 2 sentiment in the end.
Okay.
So since I have your API key in the code,
Since you have my key, right?
so it will
Otherwise,
actually run fine for most.
correct.
So all of us are basically calling Ramesh's deployed API
Yeah.
because his API key is given in the code.
Right.
So that
And
is
I
a
think,
good knowledge. That's a good thing to see that how you can call other people's deployed API.
yeah, once you have your APIs and the username, right, it should be able to run it actually. Now, I think I refresh it.
So this shows how you can publish your API key to your customer and they can call your deployed model.
Correct. I see the number of calls has increased a lot. You see that
Yeah.
24 calls has been done. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So after you reach here, right, I would suggest you go to terminal. I hope you go to file new terminal. Just open the terminal. And here, what we are going to do is we are going to pass in some sequence of steps for us to actually deploy our model. So the steps are listed. Okay, as we speak, that steps are also as well listed here, right? Let me. Okay, so where are we now? Okay, so first I
You
would
can
do.
send one command at a time in chat.
Yeah, wait, just a minute. I already have. Okay, so okay, so okay. So wherever your files are located, right, that particular folder, we need to first move in over there. I mean, replace it with your folder name where you have the model files. And then we need say sentiment analyzer 2. Okay, so once you have done that, you can actually name it, give it a unique name. So you can, I think under you there have been no models, right? So you can name it like sentiment analyzer or sentiment analysis, whatever you want. I named it sentiment analyzer 2, but you can name it like sentiment analyzer if it is your first model without any. So it actually looks for a unique name. So all your models should have a unique name for you to invoke, right? So that you get a unique endpoint. So I already have a sentiment analyzer, so I named it a sentiment analyzer 2, but you can name it sentiment analyzer. So this is the step where we initiate the, see now if you see, right, once you have run this command hub init, you can see a folder is getting generated.
Should we be inside model folder in terminal or
Sorry,
outside the model folder in the terminal itself?
Outside the model folder actually.
Okay.
So once you did this init, right, you would see a set of folders being created with the Docker file. So with the Docker file, with the src folder, with a model folder. Okay. Can you please repeat once again we start terminal? Yeah, once we start terminal, you need to go to the folder where your model files are present, right? Where is it? I'm sorry. See here. And then you can use hub init and give a unique name. Once you are done with this, you would be seeing a lot of files, so a lot of folders inside that, which is source, which is model, and Docker file. So I already have a sentiment analyzer one. Just give me a minute. Okay. Okay, so I would request you to open the main.py file. Whatever inference code we wrote, right, we are actually going to copy paste here. So I will tell you the purpose. This main.py is the file which will actually be used for inference, okay, by the model. So if you recall, we wrote this model deployment code here, right? So we are going to use this code over to the main.py file. So what I would do is I will actually download. I think I would not have given this file. In fact, if it's finding difficult, I will just see if I can copy paste this. Will it work? Okay, so 1 minute. I will just give you this file as well so that you can use the contents. Let me download. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to post this main.py as well in my Google Drive and give you the link. Please take the contents and then copy paste in your main.py file. Otherwise, it will be a little difficult for you to actually write this. or if you want, because you don't have this handy, right? So what we are primarily doing here, I will explain you once you're done that. I'll go to my drive, file upload. Okay. Please see whether you are able to access my main.py file. You can take this file and you can copy paste the contents to your main.py file. So what we have basically done in the main.py file here is we are getting the model directory location, whereas as well, again, using the same tokenizer model, we are actually importing the logistic regression model, right? And this is the function which is going to do our inference, right? We are taking in our inputs. We are actually pre-processing the text. We are running our model using the pre-processed text, extracting the last hidden state. Using those features, we are making a prediction, and we are outputting whether it is positive or negative. We have already done this in our model deployment file, but then from here to copy paste here, it might be difficult for you. So you can use the file which I sent to you actually. I hope you all are able to access my file, main.py file.
What about requirements and utils.py? Not needed?
Yes, so I will tell you. Once you are done this, what you can do is in requirements.txt, right? You need to write what are the libraries that we need to install. So for instance, I put torch, transformer, numpy, scikit-learn, whatever library is required for a program to run, you can do it so that this will get installed later. UtilSpy, we don't have to touch it. It already has a code to help us to do image processing. Right now we are doing text processing, so we don't need to touch it. So our focus is on these two files, main and requirements. Okay, so 1 minute. I will
So
just...
you have to update requirements.txt also.
Yes, we have to update the requirements.txt, main.py. So those two are the files you need to...
I shared the 4 words to put in requirements text, and then you can do file save.
Yeah, I'll just write it, save the files, main.py requirement.txt.
So we created a cookie cutter template folder environment for the Dockerization of the model. And now we are overwriting within the cookie cutter template the specific commands or code we need. So main.py is being overwritten, requirements.txt is being overwritten.
Okay, just a minute. Multiple files open. Let me close it. It's clear. Okay. So I'm saying the source and main.py. Okay, I will install that. Okay, so once you have done right, what you can do next is um, move inside the folder where we have all these files. Right, let me say, laser 2, right? And after we moved, we have to start our build. Let me show you the command build. Yes, Honey, you have a question? Honey Yadav?
No, I don't have a question. I think it was already raised, the hand.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry. So try running this hub build command.
Then I got a bunch of errors.
What errors?
Uh, One is like in line 8 sys.exit main something. I'll
Yeah,
post the image of the errors.
don't we have to copy the model files to model folder, Ramesh?
No, this will get will automatically pulled, Vivek.
Hmm? Because you had a model folder with after the training file, right? In the capital M model folder. If you go
Yes.
back, so don't we have to copy the model files to this model folder of Docker set?
You mean
Right
here?
now, my this model folder in Docker template is empty. Go to double click on this model.
Yes.
See, this is empty, right? Don't we
Yes.
have to copy the stuff here?
No, we don't have to copy the stuff here. It's because the Docker file will actually build the models. So,
Okay.
so from here, it will take in from where the model files are located, and then it will
Hmm.
start building it.
So we have to run hub build in the original folder.
Yes. So, Kunal, what is the error message? Can you show me? I will just see.
So I think I executed the code in the SRC folder, so it says that the directory doesn't seem to be a Hub API project. Either change the project directory or use project path option to specify the path.
Okay. So you are in this. So you have to come out of this folder and you have to run it in this folder.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Try it.
We have to run it in which folder? Sentiment analyzer.
Yes. Yes, Vivek. Yeah.
Okay.
So once it is fine, then you can do a hub. Deploy.
Yeah, now it's running in the sentiment analyzer folder.
Okay. Okay. Once it is run, for all of you, you can actually run it in. You can run a model deploy. Sorry, hub deploy. I posted the command there. And then for me, it says the deployment is completed. And I can see the model here, Sentiment Analyzer 2. You can see in my screen. That's my name, but for you, it will appear differently.
Ramesh, do we know if he had tried to run with same name, Sentiment Analyzer 1, what it might have done? It would have said already deployed or something, huh?
Yes. When you create a first time when you create, you give hub init this time, right? That time it will throw in error. Right? So when we do the hub init, right? That's the first time we are creating the folders. That time itself, it will look for the unique name.
Yeah. The build is taking some time for me.
Yes, build will take some time. It's the first time, right? Build will take
Yeah.
some time. After that, yeah.
And it says model deployment completed.
Yes, good. Once you see model deployment is completed, you can go to your hub and then you can see whether you are able to see the deployed models.
Can you repeat the terminal commands that we have to give after the model deployment?
The last command is hub deploy. So if you see, that's the last command, hub deploy. After that, you will see a message, model deployment completed.
Actually, it's showing me that the sentiment analyzer no such file or directory can be found.
In which stage are you getting that error?
If from in the initial one when I'm writing it, CD sentiment analyzer.
You are getting it here.
Yeah.
Oh no. You have okay. So you have a folder like this. You may not have the folder like this. It's
No,
mine.
no, no.
So
I
you
can't
don't have
see.
to do this. You can just directly type hub init and then your model name. Try that.
Okay.
You can directly type hub init and then you can give a unique name like sentiment analysis or analyzer.
Yeah, it's showing complete.
Oh, okay. So
Now
you
I
run all
think I
these
can
commands.
write hub build.
Sorry.
Now I can go with the forward command, right? The hub build one.
Yes. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. You change into that. You move to that directory and then start the build option.
Okay.
Okay. So whoever has completed, are you able to see your deployed model in the dashboard?
Yes, sir. Let me see.
Okay. So everybody able to see? And whoever has deployed, you should be able to see the model. Once your model is there, we can actually test the API. So which mode are you comfortable testing? You use a Postman or you want to run a Python script? Either way, we can do it.
Would you please repeat? Didn't get it.
No, to invoke the model, do you want to do it in Python script or you want to use Postman tool? I was just asking the question. So.
You already have the core test API, right? You can show that.
Yes. Yeah, we can do that as well. We can run this. Only thing in the, I think you all have this model deployment at IPython, right? There also we have a testing code. We can run this cell and then test it. Only thing, you need to replace the API key with your API key, username with your username, and then the API name as the model name that we have given. So you need to change all these options and then run it. So I'll repeat, API key is your API key. Right now it's my API key. Username is your username. Username can be found from here. If you go to not support profile, under username, whatever username here, right? You can copy it and then you can use it as a username. And for API key, you can actually click this, copy this, and then you can use it over here. And for API name is the model name that you have given. So in my case, it will be Sentiment Analyzer 2. Right? In your case, whatever name you have given. So change these three parameters and then run this cell. So what we are actually doing is we are passing the API keys via the headers. And once you are done with this, you can initiate a GET request. Okay, I got a 200 response back, which means the model is successfully working. It's just only a GET request, so you won't get any other response back. We will next try a POST request. But till this point, are you all able to do?
I got error 500. Let me check if I got my username correct.
Okay, 500 is an internal server error. You can check if there are any issues in from your execution logs.
vSingle.
See, for me, it is
Username
working
is
fine.
correct.
Are you using the right?
Yeah, I got the API key correct. I got the name of API correct and also username correct. It is deployed successfully in my dashboard. Let me open the logs on
Maybe
this.
when your main.py file has any issues, then it would.
I uploaded your main.py as it is, so I'm seeing the logs here.
Okay. Anybody else could get it right? 200 error code, or you are able to get it? 200 is a success error.
Main.py is the issue.
Yeah.
Line 11. Model dir is not able to find. Model dir, the environment variable. Line 11 main.py. Let me check that.
Okay.
So model dir is set where?
It would pick up from your model folder. So these files, it would pick it up.
There is nothing in my model folder. My model folder is still blank.
Okay.
Check your model folder, Ramesh. What is it supposed to have?
I'm talking about the models which we saved.
But how does model dir get set? Anybody else able to see the same error or run successfully?
Sir, I got 200.
What is that? Sorry, I didn't.
Sir, I got 200. Status.
You got which response? Sorry, I didn't get it.
Status code 200. That's
Okay, 200 means successful, right? That's
yes.
And you got the 2 sentiment scores, right? Positive, negative.
No, that will be coming in the post request, Vivek. So 200 is the first check to say whether the model is, whether we're getting a response from the model, pinging the
Okay.
model and getting the response. So next line is to run the post code.
Mm-hmm. No, in the get I got 200. Model loaded in memory.
Okay.
In post I am getting 500.
Oh, okay.
In the get I got 200.
Oh, get you got 200. Okay. So model is deployed, but I think internally it's not finding. We can check it. We can check the logs then. Unable to import model main, no module named torch. No module named torch. Trace back.
That could be not selecting the correct kernel.
Okay. Now let me try 1 minute.
Can't load tokenizer. For me, that's the error. That model directory is the line it's failing.
Okay. 1 minute. Let me check. Oh. Okay. So. Okay, I think we did not copy this. Maybe that's the reason.
Yeah, that model folder should have something, right? It cannot be
Yes, I
empty.
think we did not copy. Okay,
You have to
so
copy all the files.
yes, we have to copy because what I'm seeing is I got missed it here. I think I have the files here, but then inside I created. Okay, I have all the files here. Yes, the model has.
Right.
Okay, sorry about that. So
So I can just copy from the other folder and paste it here.
yes. Try it. Even I need to try and do that. Yeah, sorry, I missed one step actually. That's the problem.
But how some
Whatever.
people were able to run it without that?
No, I think 200 we were able to deploy it. I think 500 is the issue. Post is the issue. So,
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
sir, I got 500 later on the end. Initially, it was 200. The
yeah.
above.
Right. Yeah. So 200 only tells the model is deployed, right? But we haven't posted this model contents. Actually, I missed the step. So apologies. You all need to now. We need to redeploy. What we need to do is right. If you go inside your folder, right? So this is my sentimental analyzer. Model folder was empty. Actually, I missed
No, I
it.
mean, I'm not sure if you have to redeploy, just copy and run it again. No, I'm trying that actually.
No, okay. No, I think it will not work. But I would suggest people to please copy your model related files into the model folder. I missed this step because of which I think we were able to deploy, but we haven't deployed with this.
No, it went without the model. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So which parts we have to do again?
This just okay. You mean again, right? Okay. Once you copied
Build
this
or
model,
init is already done, right?
yes, we need to do again a build.
Okay, hub build, hub deploy.
Yes, let's try that. Okay, I am inside CD sentiment analyzer 2. Let me do hub build. Hub init is done. Hub build I'm doing. Okay. Okay, so yeah, please do it. Please redo hub build, and then this is how you do a redeployment. Whenever you make a changes in the model, and again I am deploying. Once I deploy, what will happen? The existing model gets deleted, and this new model will get uploaded in the same name.
Okay, can you repeat the process of how you changed and again did it?
See, earlier I actually missed the files inside model. Whatever model folder has, whatever files you are there in the model folder, right? We saved the model, right? We all saved it in a specific folder. I just telling to copy these files, all these files,
Okay.
copy, and then put it inside the Docker generated model. So inside this model, go inside this model, put it inside. This must have been empty for you.
Right click and paste. So it will just like normal copy and paste.
Correct, correct. Do this. The model
I'm
folder was
updating. It says updating existing deployment.
okay. So now let us try. Are you able to do it? I don't know who asked the question. So
How it did so fast for you, Ramesh? For me, still updating.
let's see. Still updating. What I know is first time when you do a deployment, it takes a lot of time, but after that, it's all. But okay, let me try again.
The build was a breeze. Deploy is taking time.
Okay.
Okay, now it's done. Let me test it now.
Okay. No, it's again about error.
Okay, it worked for me now. So I am able to get 2 sentiments.
You are able to get it? Okay.
Yeah. I just had to copy the model files across and sentiment analyzer, a hub build, hub deploy, and that did the trick.
Okay. Okay. How about others?
So it is still deploying.
Okay. I lost my launcher here.
I tried running from the beginning again, like because the model file was empty for me.
Okay.
So I ran the first file of IPNB. So it created a model for me here.
Here, model
In the
folder.
model folder.
Yeah. Inside this, you need to paste those files which we created.
Okay, give me a second.
Sure. Sure.
Ramesh sir, can you check your requirements.txt? Yeah, you have to add your libraries, right? I guess.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I did some more test sentences and it's working fine for me. So I said the acting was super, but plot was junk. So it gave negative score.
Okay. So, terminal. I think my terminal is already open.
So it has been deployed now in the dashboard. So you can see some invocation IDs under the API.
Okay. So, were you able to run the 200 and 500 get and post commands?
So I mean, under invocation history, I got some check some type.
Hello.
Yes.
Ramesh,
Okay.
I'm sorry to ask. Yeah, can you just tell me like how to create a API key again?
How to create what?
API key again?
API key. Okay. You have to go here, dashboard, and then you have to use this option, create API key.
Yeah, I'm trying to do that, but it's saying you don't seem to have deployed any models and look like it's your first time. So take a quick start, but I am closing that down. But after that, there is nothing coming up.
Okay. Can you share your screen? Maybe like.
Wait a second, I'll join through my system.
Okay.
In mine also, I have deployed the model, but when I'm going to that, when I'm clicking to that space, it's showing me that failed to fetch the logs, the execution logs.
In which command? Is it a command line, Honey Yadav, or something?
No, I have deployed it. So after
Okay.
deploying it, I could see the sentiment analyzer 3 on my deploy models.
Okay. Here. Yeah.
Yeah. So when I clicked on that, so
Okay.
I clicked on the sentiment analyzer 3, and now it is showing me the execution no logs to show, and then it is saying that failed to fetch the logs.
No, because you didn't even call it once.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
So you have
expected.
to call it once to at least have some logs created.
Yeah. So this will just show you only when you have some logs. So you can run this file and see whether it is working fine.
The test API one, right?
Yeah. Use your API key, username, and API name, and then test it.
Okay.
All of you have to update the API key and username, and don't use Ramesh's key and username.
Yeah. Yes, please. Where is my terminal? Okay.
So should I be sharing my screen once?
Yeah, please share your screen. Yeah.
Uh, one second. This is
Yeah. You can click on create API key, right? So.
yeah. If I try creating one,
Mm-hmm. Okay. Can you close this? So is it the same thing which is repeating?
yeah.
Okay. I think Bhavesh, you there?
Um, yeah, I didn't really see it. Can you click on create API key and is that the dialog that's coming up your screen? Create API key.
It's the
Just
same.
close this and just refresh it once. Okay.
Now maybe you have to deploy a model first, right, to create an API key.
No, that is independent, I think, Vik. Right, Bhavesh?
Yeah, I think it is independent.
Independent, yeah. No, I mean, I
First,
never faced any. I don't think anybody else faced this.
I mean, you can go ahead and deploy and then see if it lets you create an API key.
So
Did you do a hub build and deploy?
no, I did not do that. I joined a little late, so I was just catching up with other things.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, maybe that's a requirement. Not sure, Bhavesh.
I'll have to check it, I guess.
So
Anybody else facing the same issue? It seems to be a unique issue. So.
Mine is resolved as well, so now it's working fine. Thank you.
Okay, okay. So for everybody else, is the model are you able to infer?
So I still get 500 at the end. I mean, I uploaded the model folder that was downloaded into the.
And what about requirements? Requirements is also, have you set it up? Please check it. You may have to see whether both model should have files and requirements should also have
You can
values.
share your screen, Shashwat, and check.
Yes, sir. Just a second. Yes, sir. So this is the model folder in which I copied it from my when I downloaded the DL5 NLP from the Google Drive. I uploaded these to the model folder.
I think the process
Uh,
has not been
can you
fully
go to
followed.
the requirements.txt?
Yeah. Just a second.
See,
Oh,
inside here,
sorry.
yeah, here
Yeah,
you
yeah.
need to have. No, you are missing model here. See,
Okay.
in
Yeah,
that, no, go back. In the
Okay.
sentiment analyzer, there is a model folder. It need to be right click, see, copy, and paste there.
yeah. So it's the same mistake I also did. I did not copy this.
Paste, right click, paste.
Because in both the places, the
You
model
have
full
to
name is
copy. You
model.
didn't copy before.
Yeah,
Just a second.
and then check the requirements also. So
Yeah, I think it's copied and pasted.
Oh,
Just check it.
yeah. So now I should rerun this.
Check requirements
Check
text also.
requirements.txt
yeah,
Parallel to model right here.
in
Yeah,
source.
inside SRC.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
also
just add.
blank.
Yeah, this is empty and model main.py need to be updated.
Okay. Main.py, I think I have done. Yes.
That is good.
So torch, transformers, and scikit-learn
Yeah,
Okay.
I just posted in the chat. Yeah,
requirements.
can use
Okay,
that.
sir. So shall I stop sharing now?
So
Yeah,
go
you
ahead
can.
and run it. Otherwise, something else will get stuck.
Okay.
Put this in requirements, file save. From the menu, file save or Control S.
Okay. Let's try. Control this. So now I should run this.
You have to deploy and build and
No,
deploy.
build and deploy first in
Build and
terminal.
deploy. Yeah. So when you can see when it is running, right, you can see your model file names, whatever you put in requirement or text, all this will come up. Yeah,
Okay.
that way you can.
So this should work now. Hub will build, hub deploy. Then after that, test API with your own API key and username.
Yeah.
I guess you can stop sharing.
Okay. Let's check whether your API calls, whoever is invoking your API calls is increasing. Okay, how about others? You're able to deploy it and run it?
I'm facing the same problem. Like
You mean API key? Yeah, I'm just showing you if you want to invoke via Postman as well, you can do it. So you can use the select the get request, enter your API, use the authorization API key, use the X API key, pass in your API key value, and then click on send. You should get a response.
Okay, else who else is facing trouble or able to successfully test it? Ramesh, is this the movie dataset, IMDb movie dataset?
Yes, Vik. That was a simplified version of it.
Okay.
We just trained only on 500 sequences of data.
See, basically you are doing incremental learning, right? Because DistilBERT is already trained,
Correct.
right? So you are doing incremental learning only,
Right.
or transfer learning. So what is happening is when I give general sentences, also it's doing a pretty decent job of sentiment scoring,
Yes, it will do actually. It's already trained on.
because the core DistilBERT is very powerful, right?
Yes.
So so it is able to. Now question is, did we even have to do the transfer learning or incremental learning? Couldn't we just use the pre-trained DistilBERT model as it is? Any comments, Bhavesh, Ramesh, on that?
We
That's just a pre-trained model, DistilBERT. You'll have to
uh,
fine-tune it or use it. It's just the
we
head.
just used to get the embedding right, and then used it in logistic regression for a classification.
Couldn't I just use that as a feature vector, the DistilBERT model as input feature vector?
Yeah,
I
that's
think
what
that's
we,
what happening.
that's what
That's
has
what's
happened.
No,
happening.
but you are incremental training on 500 samples, right?
No,
On
no, no. I
movie
just
data.
showed for this. Uh, I just showed took up only 500 pieces of data to give the embedding to train it logistic regression. Right? We need data, right? So I took only
Okay.
500 data set for
Oh yeah,
training.
you're right. So we still have to train the LR model. Okay. Okay. So DistilBERT is used just as a feature extractor, and LR is the one where you're training classifier.
Sorry, Vivek, you were telling me something.
No, I was just looking at the code,
Okay.
trying to grasp it exactly what's going on.
Okay. Okay.
So your actual model is logistic regression classifier, binary classifier,
Yeah.
but I'm just seeing how you are creating the data set for it, features
Okay.
and
Okay.
labels. The labels are coming from that movie data set, 500 rows, and features are coming from where?
Yeah, we are using that DistilBERT model to actually produce our feature vectors.
So you are using that, you are using like an embedding technique,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
and you are extracting for these 500 rows the embedding vector using DistilBERT
Yes. Using
pre-trained
DistilBERT.
embedder. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And we are using that
So
to train LR. Yeah.
okay, and DistilBERT is better than BERT because I forgot it's a summary version. Huh?
Yeah, it's a tiny version of it with less parameters, so it actually takes
Okay.
less time for you to.
Okay.
Vijay, can you share your hub account email so I can like later after the session check if there's
Yeah,
something
yeah,
from the
I'm
backend
sharing.
issue?
I just saw the message. I was trying to do it on my own.
Invel just posted a brief summary of the steps. Some 7 steps I posted. So.
Can I get the recording of this video?
Yes, we'll provide recording on our YouTube channel in few days.
Okay.
The precise deployment steps are shown on our on documentation portal as well. So it's a very precise, and if you follow that precisely, you can do it as well. If you see the help docs on the CellStrat Hub portal.
Yeah.
So is everybody done? I am not sure. So.
Okay, any questions, audience? So I was studying the code. Just to summarize, logistic regression is the actual binary classifier, and it needs x and y labels, right? The x vector is being generated by passing the 500 samples from the movie data set through a DistilBERT embedding network, and that tokenizes and creates a numerical representation for the 500 movie dataset samples, and that becomes the input x vector to the logistic regression classifier, and the y labels are coming from the y label of the 500 reviews, positive or negative. So it's supervised learning, it is not unsupervised learning. The role of DistilBERT is to allow us to convert into a numerical vector for the movie sentences, and the role of logistic regression is to actually classify. Any questions, comments, or anybody else needs help before we close the workshop?
Sir, after doing copying the files, I have deployed it again. The deployment has been completed. So after that, what should I do? I've gone to sentiment analyzer, and I can
Test the
see.
API in the model IPYNB file. Test API code you can run with your own API key and username.
Okay, again, so that we see it's 200 on that.
You can share your screen if you need help.
Yeah.
And run your get and post, run your post code as well, and see whether you're getting response.
Just a second. Yeah, so now the sentiment analyzer has the model files, and also I have updated the requirements and deployed it. As you can see, deployment completed. And so I'm just running this one. But I still get 500 message internal AI model error.
Can you go to your logs, hub
Yeah,
logs?
yeah. This one.
I go to line 36 in main dot, but there seems to be some invalid syntax.
These two lines are not there
Yeah,
in the file, right? I
correct.
think it seems to be extra.
Okay. So I need to rebuild again.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Sashwat, can you scroll up once?
yeah. Here.
More?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So model deployment is done. I think there is the same message. Sorry.
Sorry, what is the error? Ramesh, Bhavesh, did you see the error in Shashwat's screen?
This invalid syntax
No,
tag.
it's still showing the old log, right?
Yeah, it's the old log, so yeah, it takes time
No,
for
you
the new
scroll to the
logs.
end below. Scroll
Okay, okay.
to the latest log, na?
End request already is reported.
Yeah, it's still the old log, so
So you run it again,
So in
or
the
you
terminal, if you type hub logs, it will show, right, Bhavesh, immediately.
yeah.
Okay.
you can also upload the main.py again afresh if you want.
Logs.
Logs. We need to give the sentiment, the name, is it?
Yeah, the name of the
The
API
name
project.
of the model, yeah, you give that.
Just hub logs and then space the name of the name.
Yeah, name of your API. Sentiment analyzer.
Did you save that file? It's showing the same log problem.
Okay. Think- Yeah, it has been saved. Now there is nothing. It's line 36. Sorry.
You can upload main.py again, overwrite it and see, and then do hub build and deploy again.
Okay, sir.
So those who are done, maybe you can feel free to leave, and others who still face trouble, we can continue to help them.
Okay, so I'll delete this. Done. Yeah. So,
Hmm.
okay. So,
Yeah, just open that file and just check so yeah, the main.py. That
yeah, yeah.
That's all good.
yeah, okay.
We'll have to do hub build and deploy again. And you have filled the model also, right, in the model folder?
The model folder has been filled, yeah.
Yes, yes.
And requirements.txt is still. Yeah, it's
Okay,
done.
all good. All others, how is everybody else doing? Done?
Yeah. So it's complete.
So try to test the API, but make sure your username and API key are correct.
Yeah, I've updated them.
So start from test API, run this cell. Yeah, let the get return before you run the next cell. A get is basically warming the API and bringing it alive because initially it's a cold start for a new API deployed, I believe. Bhavesh, am I right? The get will warm
Yeah.
up the API, right?
Yes.
So in future, we have a plan to keep the APIs warm.
Status code 200. And now
See,
it's
it's working
positive.
fine now.
Yeah, now
You
it's
can in fact add couple of sentences of your choice in that sample inputs and see. You can add more instead of updating them. Comma, next line, add some more. Try some random sentence you like to put. It can be on anything in the world, not just movies. You run this.
yeah. Positive, negative.
So it's working fine. Great. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
All others, how are we doing? Are we done? Ramesh, are we done? Ramesh?
Yeah, Vivek, sorry.
So done?
Yes, Vivek, yeah. If anybody has any other questions, then we are done.
Okay, so thanks a lot, Ramesh. Thanks, Bhavesh. Thanks, Ramesh. Very nice end-to-end session. Audience will provide the recording on YouTube channel in a few days. Keep practicing, keep learning, and have a good weekend. Stay safe. See you later.
Yeah, thank you, Vivek. Thank you all for your time. Thank you,
Thank you, sir.